we're in this season of, you know, I'd be interested before the campaign season is done to get a comment from Bruce Chester, you know, like, what, you know, are you nervous about being associated with the party that Trump's a part of? You know what I mean? That's going to be a turnoff for some people. I think their campaign, though, is doing a excellent job of getting Bruce out there as much as possible in a variety of different ways, including those radio forums. Cam and I interviewed him for one of our other podcasts earlier this year when he first announced that he was going to run. And the guy seems like a pretty reasonable guy.
Yeah, I met with him for about 3 hours one day. He's great.
And he's got a lot of good ideas. He's definitely a man of moderation. I think he's kind of a man that doesn't care about politics so much as he cares about his own personal ideologies on any number of topics. But he's also, you know, he's running because, and this seems to be a theme going on, you know, he's running because for several years he needed help. He needed assistance as a veteran from his state rep. And even to date, he's never received a call back on calls he made to the state rep's office just saying, hey, can you help me with this? So that seems to be a pattern. People who say, yes. Looking for help because he's a resident of Gardner. He's looking for help from the Jon Zlotnik administration, from his office. So, you know, we've in our sort of travels, we've met people who say he's been very responsive. I've gotten help from the state rep, and then we know other people, frankly, you know, myself included, that, you know, it's hard to get help when you need help.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Now,
I mean, I'm as a city council, I've sent him emails. He doesn't respond to me. So, I mean, I don't find it hard to believe by any stretch of the imagination. And, you know, I've been city council for a long time. I mean, you might think from time to time the state rep would come into a city council meeting. It'd be kind of nice. Once in a great while. No.
Right.
I think Zlotnik came once when his sister was getting sworn into the school department or something. And it's unbelievable. Maybe he goes to Winchendon and stuff. I don't know, but he doesn't come to Gardner.
Yeah.
I think people, you know, he's more like, Zlotnik, in my opinion, I mean, I live here. I'm a politician here. I hate to say I'm not really a politician, but my take on Zlotnik is he just likes to get his face in the newspaper from time to time. He likes to shake hands with the elite, you know, the business elite, you know, and he likes to be found in the circles where he could be like a popular guy, you know, like the popular kids in high school. I'm not trying to be disparaging. Some people just have that kind of personality. They want to be liked by the important people. They want to be liked by the elite or the establishment. And you know what? It's worked for him. He's been state rep since 2012. So that's probably another reason why he's probably saying, you know what? I got friends in high places. People like me. You know, he just got a Republican mayor, like a ton of votes. So he's kind of like the golden child around here. Everything he touches basically turns to gold, right? I mean, a lot of people say he basically has a lot of influence in this city, like a lot of influence. So we go back to this question of whether or not he wants to debate. I guess he's probably saying, why should I debate?
You know, many of his political stances I would side with in general terms, but I don't know, man. It leaves a bad taste. I'm one of those people that would say, wow, ideologically, I should be aligned with this guy, but I don't see that he's been very much of a help, certainly not in the areas of economic development. I think he started off strong, you know, when he was first elected, and I think he's hamstrung himself through politics.
Well, he got us the Wachusett Business Incubator. I mean, that was a huge thing that he did for us. I mean, he single-handedly did that, as far as I know.
I got no comment there. I'm too close to the situation. Close to the situation. Too close to the situation.
You can't even talk about it.
Man, it hurts. It hurts.
Oh, it hurts too much.
It hurts too much. Well, you know,
No, but I'm not being facetious in that. Like, I think he took credit for that. And other than that, tell me about it. I mean, I'm a city councilor. I don't see a lot of stuff coming to the city from the state rep. I mean, I think I think the Ale House got something, and maybe, you know, some other businesses got this and that. But from a general standpoint, and I asked them in an email, I'm like, can you please because he was coming out hard against me when I was running for mayor, right? Oh, I'm the worst guy in the freaking world, even though I've been city councilor for a long time and done a lot for the city. But I said, can you just give me a list in an email? Can you give me a list of all your accomplishments? Crickets. I got nothing. So I go on,
I'm telling you,
you can go on the State House website and look at, and I mean, it's pretty bare bones there.
It's the un-campaign, man. It's, I will say this though, he's got one hell of a logo. Not every candidate has a logo.
It's a very good logo.
It's very proto-fascist. It's that big Z in the what do you call the rondelet,
Yeah, but if his last name didn't start with a Z, he'd have to come up with something else.
It's like Z.
It's just a cool letter.
It's like
a very
Z.
Cool letter.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Z, the final battle. It's like
it's
Z.
A great letter. It's probably the best letter in the alphabet.
Z, if we were in Canada.
It's right up there with K. K is good.
Now here, what's even better is when there's two Scott Graves in town and one can run, right? And then 10 years later, I could borrow your signs, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I didn't use my middle initial. Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Actually, I threw them all away.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Now what am I gonna do? I don't have the money for signs. Come on.
I'll give you money for signs.
I don't have the money for signs. I lost my job.
I'll give them to you. I'll buy them for you.
Now, here's how the current mayor, Mike Nicholson, fits into all this. So on Monday, October 5th, we did our research here. Monday, October 5th, the Republican candidate, Bruce Chester, met with Mike Nicholson, who's the current mayor of Gardner, who won in the special election. He beat you. And
yeah, handedly.
Handily beat. I think last week you actually used the term hammered.
Oh, hammered.
He hammered me.
Steamrolled.
So anyway, these two meet, and what Bruce has told us is that Mayor Nicholson said to him, I'd really like to support you. However, I have a long-standing relationship since high school with the state rep, and this is Jon Zlotnik now. And so I wish to remain neutral in this race because you're probably two great guys, and I have a personal relationship with him. And that seemed reasonable to Bruce, according to Bruce. So they left it at that. Now, just a few short days later, which I believe, to be exact, was that Thursday, 5th, 6th, 7th, so the 8th of October, a mailer came out from the Zlotnik campaign showing Mike Nicholson on the mailer formally endorsing Jon Zlotnik for state rep. Now, for those of us that watch politics in town, that's no surprise. Jon Zlotnik did play an instrumental role in getting Mike Nicholson elected. Mike is a Republican, and Jon Zlotnik is a Democrat. And I have to say, under any other circumstances, I would actually be encouraged by bipartisan support and helping each other. But in Gardner, it hasn't really worked out. On its face, it sounds like kumbaya and everything's cool. But here, this is not actually working for the citizens. So just to be clear for our listeners, the implication here being mailers come out, they're usually decided upon, the lists and also their design and so forth, much more than a week before they come out. In other words, Mike would have known that mailer was coming out. Mike would have known he was about to formally endorse Jon Zlotnik when he had this conversation with Bruce Chester. And in fact, we'll be sharing them on this episode's support page on our website at SM Graves Associates. We actually have photographs last weekend of Mike Nicholson and Jon Zlotnik hand in hand doing a standout together with Zlotnik signs and so forth. It just, better people have done far worse things. Worse people have done far worse things. Okay. And we, we can say we see great promise in our young mayor, but this, I don't know, there's something smacks me about this. It's very dishonest. You know what I mean? And it wasn't handled well.
Yeah, if that happened, was that a conversation, face-to-face conversation, or on the phone?
Was a face-to-face conversation in the office of the mayor of Gardner.
Wow. Well, I
to my knowledge,
I don't know. I don't know if Nicholson has a different take on what went down, but if he did that, obviously is not nice. And you would have to say that if that actually happened, as you laid it out, you'd have to ask about somebody's morality, because it just, it doesn't pass the smell test if it went down that way. Obviously, you just tell the person, I can't, I'm not gonna
Well,
support anybody, or I'm gonna support my friend Zlotnik. I'm just gonna support my friend, and then the person goes away.
You just have the personal self-confidence to say, I know you're a Republican. Under normal circumstances, one might think that I have to somehow, but I'm not that type of person. And I have a longstanding relationship with the current incumbent, and I'm endorsing him. It's already been decided,
And the other side of that must be that a lot of people are expecting that Zlotnik is just going to walk in, he's just going to walk all over it and just slam dunk the election, because I don't think it's a good idea for a mayor. And Mayor Hawk didn't do it all the time. He stayed out of elections. I know he got along with Zlotnik pretty good, but very well. But I'm not sure if he ever really endorsed him, Hawk being a Republican. But the thing is, the mayor probably should pretty much stay out of the politics as it comes to split between Democrats and Republicans because Chester could win, and then that puts the mayor in a situation where, oh my God, I told him that I wasn't going to support anybody, and then I came out and supported Zlotnik, and now Chester's in there, and some humans would have a problem with that in Chester's position. I met the guy. I don't think he would, but some people would have an axe to grind. I mean, in Washington, D.C., your ass would be grass for life if that happened. But so sometimes it's better off just to stay out of it when you're the mayor. But I don't know. For some reason, he felt that he had to get involved in it. That's his prerogative.
Confirm for us, it's not that you received you received no statement from the mayor's office on this, or we tried to contact either the mayor or his chief of staff, but
yeah, no, I got his assistant, and I left contact information back, but I haven't heard anything again through multiple contacts. So, and the same goes for Jon Zlotnik there. Except I just had to leave my name and number over voicemail. I did not speak to anyone at that point.
I'll tell you that I don't.
Everyone's ignoring us. I don't think people think this is a real show.
Well, no, I was just going to say, though, Scott, I was just going to say that it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're accepted by the popular kids, or whether or not you're a member of this group or that group, or whether you're a golden child at Chamber of Commerce parties. If somebody reaches out to you, like people email me all the time, I respond almost right away to citizens, people I don't like, people who I think are idiots. I respond, and people, to everybody. And I send emails out to city officials. I only get responses when I hit a funny bone or something, or nerve, or a sore spot like today. So it's like they pick and choose. You're a city official, right? You're getting paid by the citizenry. You got to respond to everybody. That's your job.
So
it kind of pisses me off.
What do you think about city councilmen endorsing state rep or other candidates?
Well, that was a first. Like when I was running for mayor, I think six or seven, could have been 8. I don't know. City councilors that my colleagues.
I went down. I did again. We did research, right, for the show. We've got Karen Hardorn endorsing Zlotnik. We've got Nate Boudreau endorsing Zlotnik. Who else now? I should have wrote this down.
Karen Hardorn officially is supporting him?
Publicly, yeah. These are all, they take the form of social media posts, and they're all on the same sort of graphical background. I'm telling you, the proto-fascist logo, the Z, the final battle. And I think I don't want to leave out anybody. I just George Tiros, and Alec Dernalowitz. That
Dernalowitz.
Yeah, the millennial cabal there. Not anything against millennials, Cam. I get back in.
How many are there?
I find this interesting phenomenon that I'm broadly very encouraged by the number of people of that generation, you know, that came of age or that were in elementary school when 9/11 happened. However, what's starting to happen, what's starting to coalesce, at least locally, is, you know, I feel like you've got some people whose intentions are right, whose intellectual rigor is strong, you know, who's got a lot of good fundamentals, and they're entering public service to be public servants. And then you kind of have all the millennials that we have. And I'm painting with a broad brush, so I know I'm pissing somebody off, but I just feel like there's a lot of younger people that have recently gotten into politics here in our city in particular, that I don't know. Sometimes I wonder about their motives, that it's not a little too self-serving.
Yeah, so I can just give an example. Ed Gravel ran last time for state rep against Zlotnik, and he's a fellow city council of mine. I was council president, and I didn't endorse him. I just didn't think it was a good idea to endorse anybody in that type of race. That's just my belief on it. First of all, I think endorsements are almost borderline, not absurd, but almost like an insult to people. It's like, oh, I just saw Scott Graves endorse such and such. That means I'm voting for him. I mean, who does that? Does anybody do that? Like, I've always
well, you would have had the advantage. You would have had the advantage, though, that people would think it's me that actually did the endorsement, and you know, so you get the best of both worlds.
It's
so
just endorsements. I don't know if they must work, because everybody dies to get them, and everybody's like diving to get somebody's endorsement. I just think it's absurd. But I don't know. But as far as the city councilors that are, they went out and endorsed Nicholson against me, and they're endorsing Zlotnik now. And what I see is, at the city level, I've been doing this for 20 years as city solicitor and then city councilor. The party politics never got involved at our level. It was always city stuff, local. We didn't want to divide ourselves based on what party you are, but it's that now. It's definitely, oh, Democrats voting Democrats, Republicans voting Republicans. It never used to be like that. As far as I know, I didn't see it that way.
You didn't win because you didn't have a proto-fascist logo.
That, and I didn't have a D or an R next to my name. We'll just blame it on that.
Durr.
I should have just did the G, right?